I am calling in from beautiful, steamy Columbia, South Carolina. Glad to be able to be with you and introduce the hardest working CEO, but taking a little bit of family time. So glad to say. But Melissa has been a mentor of mine now for almost 20 years. She started as a stranger, became a friend, and now absolutely family. This is a woman I always go to for the best advice because she is just one of those type of people. She's quite knowledgeable on several fronts. In fact, she's a mom, a grandmom, an author, a co-author, and just absolutely one of the best humans that I know. So, without any further ado, your CEO, Melissa Boston Otoyebe.
Hey, Kathy. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Yes, like you said, I am here. I'm traveling in Southern Illinois. So sometimes my phone reception can be a little sketchy. So personally, we have a nice clean call this morning. But thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. When I get on this call first, I'm just smiling ear to ear. It's always exciting to hear our family calling in from all across the country, but also just to hear you, Kathy, and just how humble you are and just your modesty, because Kathy is someone who's not only our VP of Finance, she's an Emerald Director. Every single day, Kathy, just to see the work that you do, how you help facilitate so many different roles to really help become a part of the glue, the fabric that really makes this run. So thank you so much. Love you, dear. Again, we start this business off, guys. We're strangers, and then we're friends, and then we are truly family. So again, good morning, good morning, good morning. And if you are brand new on the line, I want to say good morning to you as well. We want to welcome you to the Akana family and for all of our leaders who return week after week. You know, you're on the calls every day. You get on that Diamond Factory as well. You know, good morning to you. I do have some updates today. So super excited to share those updates as it relates to some of the trips we have coming up. I know many of you are just waiting to see where your number's at and what you need to do this month because this is the last month. And I want to just say this, guys, this isn't just another morning. I really want to look at this morning as marking that shift, right? A shifting season, a time when God is pulling back the curtain on everything we've been laboring, praying, and building for. I want you just to think about it this way. You know, we talk about, hey, the breakthrough is coming. Well, the breakthrough isn't coming because it's already here. See, our breakthrough, you know, isn't going to respond to comfort. It's going to respond to faith, action, and us being persistent. And that's what we've been. So this morning, we're going to talk about push. And what does push mean? I have a few acronyms for push. You know, when we think about push, we know many times we're, you know, full of possibilities. Sometimes we talk about, you know, we're in labor, okay, with our business, and we have to, you know, birth this baby. And so when we think about push, push means pray until something happens. It means press until something shifts. It means persevere until we see it break open, okay? And that's where we're at right now. We're in a season where we've been pushing, we've been praying, we've been being so persistent so long that here we are, you know, with just such excitement in front of us. Many of you were on the call we had this past week where we gave you a preview of the book that is coming out, right? And I got some updates on that too. And so I really want everyone to understand that we are super excited. And I'm so excited this morning. I'm like, I didn't say the mission yet. Okay. We're so excited. And our mission, okay, it should resonate more than ever because we believe health, wealth, freedom, and legacy are our birthright. By offering the most life-changing products and an innovative business, we empower people to elevate to their full potential. And we know that Akana means in the hands of God. And so I want to also, before I finish today's message, I want to kind of pivot for a second and kind of outline some of the superstars and the top star that I've seen over the past week. And it's really vending and getting out there, getting our message to the community. Okay, I know many of you participate in your own shows all across the country, and I really want to take my hat off to you. Sometimes there's things I know about. Maybe I talk to that person direct, or I witness it firsthand. And so this week, or this past week, we actually had several different things going on. we started off, and I did put this out there on social media, at the juvenile detention facility. So thank you to Shawana Thomas, who many of you may not see her lately because she had went back to work, you know, and so she's not there as often, but she's always pushing for CV. She's always pushing products. She's always on social media as one of Akana's, you know, most endearing family members. We just love her. And so she invited us to actually represent the Akana family at her workplace. You know, they had a health series they're doing all month long. In fact, this Tuesday, we have some more Akanapreneurs that will be there to represent. I know Dr. Betty, Terry Anderson, and then we also have Anthony Morris. But last week, Tracy Bolton and I stepped in to represent for Shawana, and it was amazing. It's amazing to see how needed this message is. It's amazing to see that if we don't take the time to really bridge a gap with the community and get out there, there will be so many people who could spend their whole life and never know their blood type, never know the real issues that's causing them to have and suffer from the things they're suffering from. And so I just feel like it's such a part of our mission to get out there. That's why I'm so excited about the approach we're going to be making with our faith-based community through our new book. That's going to be such a game changer because we're really going to get out there and do God's work. And also, too, another event happened, and that was on Thursday. In fact, they were there all weekend, Thursday and Friday, and I believe Wednesday a little bit too, setting up. And Angie Dickerson, a big shout out to you because she's the one who actually helped make all that happen. She didn't have a chance to make the event, but it just kind of shows you how leverage works. When you partner with the team, you can still benefit, okay? And so Angie Dickerson, Terry Anderson, Iola Common, Cherie Eppinger, and Meridian Brown represented there. I know the rhythm line dancers were amazing. You know, I had a chance to learn a few new dances, okay, because that's what they were there to teach. They were there to fellowship. They had their Veterans Association there too. So it was such a powerful event because many of those women knew their blood type because they served our military, okay? But it just shows you, again, that we have to get this word out there. One of the things that I took away from it was their average sale was over $100+, guys, their average sale. In fact, out of all the people that purchased, I would say when I ran the numbers, it was probably close to 80% of the people purchased a 7-day cleanse. Now, these are people that made this purchase without a bioscan, simply getting a blood type test, learning information that we provided on the laminates, reading information many times, and then making a decision to go out there and upgrade. And then what was really exciting is we have our new price sheet. So a lot of times they're just looking through the price sheet. They're picking the blood type test, which said $19. They're picking the cleanse on there for the $119. And then they're deciding to maybe get the coffee because they're sampling the coffee. And then maybe they then decide to get the hemp Govee. So it's really cool because many of the people walked away purchasing 3, 4, and even 5 products, guys. And that's called a game changer. That's a duplicatable business model that we can replicate, we can duplicate all across this country and create massive action. And that's why I'm telling you guys, our breakthrough isn't coming. Our breakthrough is here. And hopefully you're not sitting on the sidelines. You jump in because this is the time. Super, super excited. In fact, this weekend, we're going to do our own thing again. We did this not long ago, just in July, and we actually had our highest day of the month. And that was at the end of July when we did that there on the end of June 28th. And so now that we're here in July, we're going to do it in the middle because our venue is booked for lots of, many Saturdays. So July 19th happened to be the open Saturday. And so that's why we picked that day. So we're going to do Battle of the Blood Types again. And it's just such a fun and engaging day. Everyone who walks in that door is going to have a chance to learn their blood type. They're going to get educated on their blood type. And then we're going to have blood type specific recipes, whether it's coffee, smoothies. It will be awesome. And at the last one, I know you guys heard how we bragged about how coffee sold out that day, okay? And so I'm anticipating we're going to sell out of many things that day. So can't wait. It's going to happen from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. again this Saturday for the Battle of the Blood Types right at our Akana headquarters. There is an Eventbrite out there, so check your social media. You'll see the opportunity to register via Eventbrite, and we do see those tickets flying off the shelf. They're free tickets, but you got to have a ticket to get in. And so with that being said, I want to get back real quick to something I talked about regarding the Proverbs Diet preview call we had, and that's the Power in the Blood book that is launching at the end of this month. And so we'll have a launch day where we officially have a date that it launches, a pre-launch that's going to actually start this week, okay? We'll have a book signing, and there is a PowerPoint. I know many of you are connecting with your churches, and so there's a few things that I'm tweaking, so those things are almost done, but you will be able to start booking some appointments with your churches, with your pastors, and then we also have a media kit. So if you want to get an opportunity to get this in front of your church, you're going to want to position the person who is either in charge of health, maybe there's a health minister, or maybe you know your pastor or the co-pastor, you know, someone's very health conscious, right? You want to really get it into the right hands. Into the right hands, I'm telling you, they're going to be so excited because in this new media kit, we've actually made some updates. And so you're going to actually see a copy of the book. There's going to be some other outline in there. So when you present it, it's going to be full of color and super captivating. And they're going to want to ensure they book that workshop with you or with your upline or your leaders, okay? And so now as it relates to CV, as it relates to this is the last month for you to qualify, the question is, who is going to join us in Las Vegas? And remember, the top 10 will join us in Bermuda. That's a bonus trip we're doing for the top 10. And so I'm going to pull a list real quick because I do have some numbers. And I'm going to start first with everyone that has at least 200. Now, if I don't call your name, doesn't mean you don't have points. I'm just today starting with those who have 200 or more. And remember, this is double CV month. So if you get 100, that's going to equal 200, okay? But if you go out and do it a little bigger and you go out there and get 250 points, that's 500 points right there, okay? And how do you do that? By hitting CV numbers, going for the gold instead of the silver. And so let's start first with the person in the 24th position. In fact, it's a three-way tie, okay? And so we have Ernestine Davis, Paula G., and Karen Wilson. They all, and Valerie Jackson. Now, Valerie Jackson, technically, you did get a 200-point credit, so you actually have 400, but that's including the 200 points. And so you're just a sneeze away now. Actually, there's more with 200. I have Deborah Blackman Parrish and Nadine Donato. So those are the women, because it looks like it's all women, with 200 points. So let's look now at 250. That's Tammy Texeria. We have now at 300, Kayada Cooks, Willie Mooney, Anna and Kim Gallagher, Bertha Mines. At 350, we have Dr. Betty Smith and Fatima Horn. At 400, we have Elizabeth Thompson, but Elizabeth, you actually are pushed over, so you're technically a winner now because you were still carrying over the 200 points in case you needed it. Those are spot points. It'll get you to the top of the bottom of the finish line at least, and whatever you do is overage, right? So that means you would have at least 500 points getting you in the door on Las Vegas. And so now let's look at Cherie Eppinger, who's at 450 points. We have Diana Coleman, Anthony Morris. Both of them have already qualified for Las Vegas, so congratulations. And they're at 500 points. We have Ma Mitchell at 550 points. So, of course, you qualified for Las Vegas. We have Kathy Weathersby, Tracy Bolton, and Reba Dabney. They're in a three-way tie, it looks like, for fourth, and they're at 600 points. We have Bernadine Kirkland, who's now at 700 points. Kenneth Elam, who's at 750. Kenneth, if I'm wrong, text me, but he might be higher than that. But I know he's at least 750. And then Crystal Robinson, we have you at 800 points. Okay, so those are the points that we have right now for Las Vegas. And what does that mean? That means when I look at the top 10, as it speaks right now, the top 10 people, let me just make sure, one second. And that's not finalized, guys. I mean, it's not over to the end of the month. And so this is why this is the month we want to show up and show out. But right now, we have Cherie Eppinger, Diana Coleman, Anthony Morris, Ma Mitchell, Kathy Weathersby, Tracy Bolton, Reba Dabney, Bernadine Kirkland, Kenneth Elam, and Crystal Robinson. They're all right now in the top 10 portion for the Bermuda Leadership Retreat, okay? And so, hey, that's exciting, guys. We're seeing some new names, and you are all showing up and showing out. So big kudos to those who decided to go for it. Now, remember, there's some of you out there that you just need to really push a little more, because you also are spotted those 200 points because you didn't make the last trip. So I know I have Paula G, Kieran Wilson. I have not yet added your points in, so you can see where you're at now. When you add those extra 200, you're actually much closer to finishing yours. And then, of course, we have Deborah Blackman and Nadine Delanato. So all of you actually will get those 200 points. And if you actually look at what I said before and add them, I think the only one I added them into was Valerie Jackson. All of you are way further ahead. So great job. And Elizabeth Thompson, I've already added yours into. So great job, guys. You are doing it, and you're doing it big, okay? And so as I conclude this call, I want to now really give a call to action to those of you out there that were at the top of the list. And we're not seeing you at the top of the list now, right? It's okay. Seasons change, new leaderships change, right? And here's what I'll say. You know, we've all sown seeds in the valley, you know, when the season is dry and you're just not seeing any result. And it can be so frustrating, right? So frustrating when you're sowing these seeds and you know you have so much more talent than what's showing up in your back office, okay? But here's the reality. You know, when we stay in position, right, when it's hard, when it's obscure, you know, when it's lonely, because oftentimes whenever the success isn't there, you know, guess what? Sometimes you're out by yourself. But when this wind starts to shift, okay, you know, we got a book about to drop, okay? This contest is about to close. And we're going to see who's going to finish with fire, okay? See, we're not running to Las Vegas or Bermuda. We're running ourselves all the way through to legacy, okay? We're seriously working to help every single person who says, hey, I want to finish well because we have something big for you. And so here's the reality, guys. We're on this last lap, okay? It's like there's another lap we got to get through. Because what I love about challenging seasons, you know, it really shows character and it really shows you what you're made of. And I know we've been through some challenging seasons, guys, but when you're right here in this moment, I'm telling you, I've never felt this much excitement and enthusiasm because I already know what this looks like. You know, I've been a part of mega success across many companies, and there's times in which we've just labored so hard, okay? But when the breakthrough comes, what's special about that is you could have worked so hard in the past, but all of a sudden, you now start working still. You're being consistent, but you're not working as hard. But guess what? The success starts to magnify even greater because there's also a reward in the consistency, but there's also a reward because of how many years and how many months you paved the way, right? You planted the seeds, even when you were in that valley, okay? And so that is why now you really should get excited, right? You want to wake up, okay? You want to stir your spirit. You know, you want to make those phone calls. You want to book those vending shows. You want to talk to your pastor. You want to get your church excited because the thing you don't want to see is someone else come into your church and they're doing the workshop for the Proverbs diet, and you could have been the one that facilitates that. I know this because when I first launched it in 2013, we were everywhere, whether it was Christ Universal, Apostolic, we were out in California at universities, guys. Again, the Seventh-day Adventists, okay, invited me in because they wanted me to make it a comic book. So the reality is we've got to go out there and post more. We've got to share our story. We've got to be bolder today than we were yesterday because we know what the devil wants, right? You know, he wants us quiet. He wants us tired because he knows that our momentum is a threat. But guess what? We weren't born to shrink. We were born to shine. And that's what we're going to do in this moment. In fact, I declare and I say, God, I thank you that the momentum is shifting. I thank you that the doors are opening. I decree today that I'm walking in my divine assignment. I want you to say the same affirmation too. And no force can stop what you've appointed for my life. This is my month of manifestation. This is my season of the switch, and I will finish strong. See, that's what you want to do. You want to get up every day and make a declaration that you are going to finish strong. This is your season. This is your month. And guess what's going to happen, folks? You're going to see us walk into the season of the supernatural, where all of a sudden, wow, that laboring, we're going to see the other side of it. And so with that being said, I want to also remind you that today is your very last day to spend $150 or more in honor of our oil day, okay? And when you do that, not only are you receiving that 15% off instead of 10%, okay, but you're going to receive that free bottle of Hemp MD, okay? Normally, if you spend at least, I think we have it programmed at $50 all the way up through the $149.95 or $149.99, it's going to get you 10% off. So if you get short of that 150, guys, it'll give you 10% off, okay? But as long as you go above 150, you're going to get that 15% off, and that's going to give you a free bottle of Hemp MD, okay? Now and that's going to expire though. That's going to expire tonight at midnight. So this is your last opportunity if you want to get that free bottle of Hemp MD. And so I'm going to close it out by saying the 2025 vision for Akana is clear: health, wealth, freedom, and legacy for every life we touch. We are moving forward, and we are not looking back. We want you to join the rebound call. We want you to join our hair Zoom. In fact, tomorrow you can join us on the Diamond Factory. And I want each and every one of you to have an Akana day. We're going to see you at the top, the very top, the tip top.